What's good, family? It's your boy Also Jay. Welcome back to another video. This is one of those videos where we're gonna get really deep. This is not for the closed-minded. Little disclaimer. If you are an open-minded individual, if you are a person who seeks knowledge, if you are a person who doesn't like being led astray, who doesn't like being misguided, who doesn't like misinformation, who wants to know something real, who likes to talk about or listen to or engage themselves in real shit, then you've come to the right place. But today, we are talking about the truth about the third eye. And this is something that I have to tap on, I have to touch on. But first, let me give y'all a little context on as to why I'm making this video. You see, back in 2020 was the first time I came public with this type of information. Me speaking about deep topics, spiritual topics, conspiracy theories. Me just embracing my spiritual side. Me being open about it. Because I was already like that before. But I was a lot more secretive about it. But since then, a lot of people who know me personally, actually know me, know what I'm about or what I'm into, at least to a certain level. So, a lot of people like to have those, when you're known to do certain things or to be a certain way, a lot of people like to have certain conversations with you. A lot of people want to bring out that side of them with you, or they feel as if they could have a deep conversation with you because they feel like you'll be able to comprehend, or you're on that level with them, you're in that room with them. Anybody who has that side of them, who likes to talk about those things, and they know that you're very much into it and you're very open about it, they'll love to have those conversations with you. And one of the things that they love to talk about is the third eye. And this is a very common misconception about the third eye that I hear a lot from these people. And not even just from these people. Sometimes I might come across certain videos. Sometimes I might hear something about it on certain songs. The third eye is not just a saying. Some people think that having your third eye open just means that you are conscious or you are aware of the deeper side of the world, the dark side of the world, the rabbit hole, the conspiracy theories they like to say, or you're very self-aware or self-conscious, or you see past the matrix. When we're talking about the matrix, and anybody who feels like they know about the matrix, they think their third eye's open. But let me tell you something, that is not the case. You can be self-aware, you could be aware of the matrix, you can understand that there's some dark things going on that the media hides from us or isn't portrayed to us. You could be aware that there's things that we're being taught that aren't true, and there's things that we should be being taught. There's things that's being hidden from us. The esoteric occult knowledge, you could be aware of all those things. You could be diving deep into the rabbit hole of learning some occult knowledge, and occult just means unknown. For those of you who may not know, because some people think they hear occult and mix that up with the word cult. No. You have to be knowledgeable about certain things before you start judging. Occult just means unknown. So you could be diving deep in the rabbit hole of unknown knowledge, things that they don't teach you in school and that you're not going to learn in the media, but that's been happening throughout history. Deep things that you were programmed to think aren't ever possible, that can never exist in no way, shape, or form. You could be diving deep into those things. You may start believing in some of it. You may have had an experience that goes against everything you've been taught to believe. You may have experienced situations or scenarios like this, but guess what? That does not mean your third eye is open. It doesn't mean that. Your third eye, the term third eye, this term and this saying comes from the pineal gland. Now, what is the pineal gland, you might ask? The pineal gland is literally the part of your brain that is right here where they say the third eye is, that secretes a chemical when you go to sleep at night and you go to the dream world. And when you die, the chemical is called DMT, dimethyltryptamine. Hard word to pronounce, but just look up DMT, chemical DMT. It's also a drug you could take that comes off of frogs or toads or something. Something like that. Isn't that funny though? How could you release a chemical when you go to sleep and when you die, and you can also take it as a drug? At the pineal gland, and the reason why it's called the third eye, not only just because it's here, it's also called that because if you see, go ahead and Google image it. If you see an image of it, like a diagram, it looks like an eye, or it's shaped like an eye, or it's shaped like the eye of Ra or the eye of Horus. Whichever way you look at it. Now look, the dream world, for my lucid dreamers, man, I could do a whole series on this, man. I might have to get a little deeper for you to truly understand. So if your brain releases a chemical when you go to sleep and releases that same chemical when you die, and when you take that chemical, when you consume that chemical, you'll have psychedelic experiences, or you'll start to see things. When you're in the dream world, you are living in a different world. Most of us believe that when you pass away, when you die, you are going to a different world. What does it mean if that pineal gland now releases this chemical? What does it mean when it's truly open or activated? Because really, saying it's open just means that it's activated. What does it mean when a person activates this part of their brain? What do you think they're going to see? What do you think it does? If your third eye was really open, you would be able to see ghosts. Just let it out the bag. You would be able to see spirits. You will be able to actually see things that the average person cannot see. Literally see it. You'll be able to see auras. A person's aura around them, around trees. And, of course, you will be able to see through propaganda and the Matrix a lot easier. You'll naturally be able to see it without having to try to see it. So it does mean, to a certain extent, if you see through the Matrix, your pineal gland is somewhat activated, or it's somewhat opening, but it's not opened if you're not out here seeing spirits walking around, and you're not out here seeing people's auras. And trust and believe, you might be a person, you might be one of these people, but there are people in this world who can do this, who can see these things. There's people in this world who know exactly what I'm talking about. And just because you activate doesn't mean it's going to stay activated. That's another thing. There's people who have, I'm one of those people, to be straightforward and straight honest with y'all. I'm one of those people where I've had those experiences. I've had it activated. But because of me not being disciplined in certain practices, or me being distracted, or me getting my energy drained by all the things that they have set up around us in life, which is so easy for you to become susceptible to. Because of those things, my third eye has been open and closed multiple times. You can't get to a certain level where it's open and it stays open. Now, I admit I'm not one of those people, but most people have never even had it open a day in their life. And they watch conspiracy theory videos and think their third eye is open. No, this is not the case. That's not the case. I'm here to tell you, there are levels. This thing is deeper than what you can even imagine. For some people, you could be a person who knows exactly what I'm talking about, who's been there, done that, who may be on a higher level than I am, or been on a deeper level than I have been. Trust and believe, there's levels though. And for the people who may take psychedelics, do you understand that all that is doing is activating something in your brain that you can naturally activate on your own? It's giving you a cheat. It's like a cheat code, or it's giving you a glimpse of your actual potential mentally, spiritually. I'm gonna put an image right here to show y'all what the brain looks like, how active the brain is on psychedelics compared to an average person, or a person who's not on a psychedelic. Now understand, all that is doing is amplifying. All that is doing, it's like if a person takes steroids, they could get to that physique without it, but they're using something to cheat their way there. So understand, if you're not walking around in life every single day feeling like that naturally without taking anything, and being able to conceive things on another level and get downloads and see things from a different level without any of those psychedelics, and you're doing this naturally, if you're not doing that, if you're not walking around like that, then your third eye is probably not open. you're not having actual metaphysical experiences naturally or through practices like meditation and yoga, breath work, and I'm soon gonna do a video. I'll probably record that video right after this about the power of breath work and some breath work techniques you could use. But if you're not seeing those things, you're not feeling these things naturally without those things, then you have so much more room to grow. There's so much, and there's always room to grow. There's always higher levels in this plane of existence. If you're on this plane right now, we couldn't even fathom what's past it. But there's levels to everything. But if you're not having those type of experiences, like I was saying, then you still have much more room to grow on this plane, on this school, in this dimension here. You haven't even got to the highest of heights in this dimension, and there's higher ones after this. But like I said in the beginning of the video, this video is not for the simple mind, because you wouldn't even be able to comprehend. But understand the things that happen in the dream world. When you become more conscious, you become more lucid. My lucid dreamers out here, there's a reason why you have experiences while you're still really awake when you go to sleep in another dimension. And it becomes more real when you become more lucid in it. And for those of you who don't know, just in case, lucid just means that you know that you're dreaming while you're dreaming. You're awake in the dream, and it looks like real life, and it feels like real life, except that things that you can kind of control the dream, like as if you're a god or something. You gotta understand, these are dimensions that we're getting glimpses of. Sleep is the cousin of death, and all of these things connect with the third eye. There's real life experiences that come with these things. That's really what I'm trying to get at with y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you're really into this type of stuff, you gotta understand you're missing out. If you really want to get into it, there's practices and techniques that you need to practice, or you should be practicing, which don't come quick. They don't come easily. They don't come overnight. But there's things that you could be seeing and experiencing that there's people out here already experiencing and seeing that you couldn't even fathom. And these people that are already experiencing them, they're not talking about it to the average person. They're not really trying to broadcast it because nobody's really going to believe them. And the ones who do broadcast it, nobody really believes them except for the people who have an older soul, whose soul pushes them towards this path, or the person who's experienced it themselves already and know that, okay, this person is talking about something that I've seen for myself already, so I know they're not lying. It's either one or the other. But you got to understand, a younger soul is not ready for this type of information. A younger soul is not meant to live that type of lifestyle because they still have other lessons they need to learn. They're not ready to dive into that side, or that they're not ready to go to the next, you know what I'm saying, something that's above this dimension. If you're an older soul, your soul is probably looking to ascend to the next level. It's probably been through so many lifetimes that it's ready, you know what I mean? It's ready to learn about the other side. It's ready to get into the other side, or you're living this life to really prepare for the other side. Because some souls ain't come here for that. They're here to learn different lessons and experience different things and live different lifestyles. But you, my friend, you might just be on your way to the next level.